Welcome to the Frugal Family. My name is Julie, and frugal, that word can be defined in many ways, and one of those ways is using things that not everyone else would use. Case in point, fruit off of the ground, all that stuff that has fallen. Not only that, another way to be frugal is to actually utilize the things that you have put time, money, and energy into keeping alive and growing, like all of our other fruit. So let's go make some jam, some juices, some pie fillings, etc. with the fruit from our yard. It is time to do more peaches. These are the so-called Indian blood peaches or Indian free peaches. They have many names. They have a different taste than like the yellow cling peaches. It's kind of bizarre, to be honest. You taste it, there's a taste of peach, but then there's like cherry and finishes with a note of tart raspberry. I don't know, guys. Weird. So we're gonna start. I've got this whole bucket here. I've got all these cling peaches. I've got stuff for making jam. I've got sugar. We're gonna start by doing just some bottled peaches. Yes, bottled, canned, preserved, whatever. Peaches in jars with some simple syrup, just sugar water. And then we might do jam. We might do a plum peach jam. I don't know. We'll see where we end up. From the freezer, I've got triple berry blend, plums that we preserved from our plum tree, and some random unsweetened mango chunks. All of these are potential candidates for mixed jam with the Indian blood peaches. Peaches are boiling. I've got an ice bath and lemon water ready and waiting. We're getting this done. Look at that color. Isn't that amazing? These peaches, yeah, these are not your yellow clings. They do their own different thing. And it's beautiful. Some difficulties I'm running into, their skin, it's funny, they're not the cling peaches, but their skin, oh, here we go, bad pun, is way more clingy than the cling peaches. So I'm having a difficult time. I mean, look at this. This looks like death and destruction right here. There is a recipe that I can do. So instead of just bottling straight peaches, I might just go straight with jam, because there is a recipe where you don't have to take off the skins. Why spend hours and hours fighting with this when I really don't have to? I've got the berries and the mango in here, just on really, really low on the stove, mostly just to defrost them. I am going to start mashing them, and here in just a few minutes, I will add in the peaches. Right here, we've got peach berry mango jam, and right here, plum peach jam. Some jars, sterilizing, ready for this jam. So we're gonna do these two, then I'm going to make peach plum jelly. Don't you love those colors? Ooh, and it smells so yummy. So I'm gonna cook this down for a while so that all this can break apart and I can mash it. But I also might run it through the blender just to smooth it out a little. So I should probably note that with these jams that I'm doing, they are no pectin jams. And what the recipes said, once I got through the novels that they were, what is it about food bloggers? No offense, food bloggers, but yikes. Anyway, once I learned their whole life stories and the complexities, the vicissitudes of their existence, I found out that in order to have no pectin, you just have to cook. Now, this doesn't work with all jams and definitely not jellies, but you just have to cook them slower and lower. And it helps like release their natural pectins with certain fruits in certain jams, and specifically in the ones that I am making. Word to the wise, probably much wiser than I, when you're gonna be blending your jams, let them cool down first. It splashed. I got burnt there, over here. Yeah, it got me good. Oops. So, all right, the one that I just blended, I tasted it and I wasn't in love with it. it just felt like it needed something. So I added some of our dumpster salvaged ground cinnamon, 2 very generous scoops of that. And yeah, I like it better. It's unique. It's a different flavor. I'm not sure yet how to describe it. Let me try it again and think it out. It's different. It is different because it's, these peaches are very different. And then mixed with mango and triple berries and cinnamon and lemon juice and a lot of sugar. It's different, but good. The bucket is empty. Now there are still some peaches, I know for sure, out on the tree, and they were up on the really high branches. I'm gonna be chopping those branches down because the tree got way too tall. They will be tiny peaches because none of them got thinned, but we will use them. We will do something with them, so stay tuned for that. But for now, the bucket is empty. I've got these 2 jars of the berry peach mango jam right here. I've got the peach plum. Oh, and there's also cinnamon in this. My own little addition. I think I mentioned it. Yeah, wow. Anyway, peach plum jam going here. 2 more jars processing there. A whole bunch of peaches. They're just going to start working their way down. I know that's way overpiled. This is the start of getting the juice for the jelly. Then over here, the last of the peaches that I have finished pitting and having. Those will also be for juice for jelly. I've got nearly a full pitcher of peach plum juice, and that will be for making jelly, but I've got to get more jelly jars before I can do that, so I'm probably going to put it in one of these big jars, a couple of these big jars, to just preserve it for now. And then once I've gotten more jelly jars, then we'll go ahead and make it into jelly. And then I've got the peaches and plums, the last of those, and I'm going to let them cool off, and then they will go in the fridge until tomorrow, and then we'll decide for sure what we're gonna do. It's either gonna be a compote or a jam. There was a couple other things I was looking at, so I don't know. We'll decide tomorrow. Okay, so I trimmed down the top of the peach tree. It's not quite as level as I would like, but definitely better. Keep in mind, your fruit trees are not shade trees. I know that's tough, but luckily the maple has absolutely sprouted this year, and so that will make up for it. And also we will be planting a Honeycrisp tree over in this corner later this fall, and so that will add, again, a little bit of shade, mostly fruit, but it will make up for, feeling bad about chopping this down. But that did make it easier for me to get the last of the peaches that were way up on top. So I got those. Also, there are tons on the ground. I've gone around and picked up a whole bunch. I'm gonna have the kids come out and pick up everything else that's on the ground, whether they're good or bad, of the apples and peaches that have fallen. And then we'll sort them in the house and see what can be made into sauces or jams. And then the rest we can, of course, mulch. So I don't want these to just be rotting on the ground everywhere. That's just not good. And especially if there is still the possibility of actually using some of them. So I'm watching Young Frankenstein, while the kids are out picking up all those apples and peaches off the ground so that we can sort through them and see if any of them can be salvaged, because hey, that's the frugal thing to do. And these are the juices. It is plum peach juice, not for drinking. It's very syrupy. This is for later. Remember I was just saying that I wanted to preserve them, make sure they're good and ready to store until I pick up some more pint-sized jars, and then we will make them into jelly. The kids brought in a bucket of the fruit that had fallen on the ground, so I'm going to go ahead and sort what we're going to be able to use for sauces, jams, applesauce, possibly juicing for jellies, things like that. And then whatever won't work, it'll just go out in the mulch. And this way the stuff doesn't get wasted, but also we don't have rotting nastiness all over out in the gardens. Okay, there we go. I am pleasantly surprised. Yeah, this is like a big bowl. Pleasantly surprised with how many peaches and apples I was able to salvage. This, my frugal friends, is being frugal with your fruit. They're not pretty, but that's okay. This will be perfect for jams, butters, jellies, applesauces, things like that. Now we got to do something with them.